In the heart of America, where the spirit of industry once thrived and communities flourished, a giant of industry is stumbling, leaving behind echoes of its former glory. Tyson Foods, a name synonymous with American food production and a staple in households across the nation, has sent shockwaves through the market by shuttering 5 key processing plants, a move that has left many questioning the future of American food production. This isn't just a corporate move, it's a seismic event with deep consequences that ripple through the fabric of society. Thousands of American workers now face an uncertain future, their livelihoods hanging in the balance, while the global food market braces for disruption in poultry and pork supplies, commodities that are essential to diets worldwide. Politically, the closures have ignited a firestorm, turning a business story into a symbol of American economic anxiety and sparking debates about the resilience of our industries. The Tyson shutdowns reflect larger forces at play: inflation, shifting consumer habits, and fierce global competition, all of which are reshaping the landscape of food production. How resilient is our food infrastructure in the face of such challenges? Can it withstand the pressures of a rapidly changing world? What happens when a cornerstone of food security scales back its operations, leaving gaps in the supply chain? The answers are unfolding in real time, from small towns grappling with economic shifts to international trading floors reacting to market changes. At its core, this story is about the food we eat, the jobs that sustain us, and the delicate balance of the global economy, a balance that is now being tested like never before. To truly grasp the profound impact of these closures on communities and economies, you need to delve into the history and significance of Tyson Foods. Founded during the challenging times of the Great Depression, Tyson evolved from a modest chicken hauler into a global powerhouse, meticulously controlling nearly every aspect of poultry production. Its relentless expansion and strategic acquisitions made it the world's largest processor of chicken, beef, and pork, deeply woven into the fabric of rural America. Generations of families have depended on Tyson for their livelihoods, making the recent closures feel like a profound betrayal to many. Officially, Tyson attributes the shutdowns to declining demand, high feed costs, and outdated plants that no longer meet modern standards. However, the reality is far more complex. Post-pandemic shifts in consumer behavior, rising labor costs, and fierce global competition are squeezing profits and reshaping the industry landscape. Tyson's move is a calculated response to a challenging market, prioritizing efficiency and innovation over tradition and past practices. The closures mark a significant turning point as the company adapts to survive and thrive in a rapidly changing industry. For the communities left behind, it's a harsh reminder that corporate loyalty often ends where the bottom line begins, leaving a void in their wake. The story of Tyson is now one of adaptation, resilience, and the inevitable cost of that change in the face of modern challenges. The shutdowns unfolded over months, not days. It began in spring 2024 with the closure of the Van Buren, Arkansas poultry plant, followed by Glen Allen, Virginia. Hopes that the cuts would stop there were dashed as Tyson pressed on with its restructuring plan. By summer 2025, 3 more plants, Perry, Iowa, North Little Rock, Arkansas, and Corydon, Indiana, were shuttered. Nearly 4,700 jobs vanished, devastating local economies. In towns like Perry, the plant was the largest employer. Its loss sparked emergency meetings and protests. Tyson offered severance and job assistance, but for many, these gestures felt hollow. CEO Donnie King insisted the closures were essential for long-term competitiveness. Despite corporate reassurances, 5 communities now face a future without their economic anchor. The reality on the ground is deep uncertainty and a struggle to rebuild. Behind the numbers are real people, men and women who dedicated years, sometimes decades, to their jobs at Tyson Foods. These are the faces behind the headlines, the hands that kept America fed, and the hearts now grappling with uncertainty. Nearly 4,700 workers whose lives were upended overnight, forced to confront a future they never imagined. In towns like Corydon and Van Buren, Tyson jobs weren't just employment, they were family traditions, passed down from one generation to the next. These jobs provided stability, a sense of pride, and a reliable path to the middle class for countless families. Now, that stability has vanished, leaving families to pick up the pieces. The ripple effects are everywhere. Local diners, hardware stores, and gas stations all feel the loss. Local businesses, schools, and even churches are struggling to adapt, as families weigh the painful decision to move away in search of new opportunities. The closures have drained both economic and social vitality from these communities, leaving behind a sense of abandonment and loss that's hard to measure. Stories like that of a Perry worker who followed his father into the plant and built his life around it are heartbreakingly common. Now in his late 40s, he faces unemployment for the first time, unsure of what comes next. Social services are overwhelmed, struggling to meet the needs of so many at once. Food banks see surging demand, with lines growing longer each week as more families seek help. Local officials scramble for solutions, but replacing an employer the size of Tyson is a monumental task. The void left behind is immense, both economically and emotionally. The emotional toll is immense, with families facing sleepless nights, stress, and anxiety about the future. Parents struggle to reassure their children, while bills pile up and uncertainty grows. The empty lockers and silent factory floors are stark reminders of the human cost, echoes of lives interrupted. These are not just statistics, they are lives, dreams, and entire communities now in crisis, searching for hope and a way forward. The closures sent shockwaves through the entire supply chain. Thousands of farmers who supplied Tyson now face losing their livelihoods, with millions invested in specialized operations. Suppliers, veterinarians, and trucking companies are all hit by the sudden loss of business. In regions reliant on agriculture, the loss of a major processor can trigger a local recession. Tax revenue drops, straining schools and essential services. Nationally, the shutdowns raise concerns about food supply vulnerabilities and potential price hikes. Industry consolidation means when a giant like Tyson scales back, the whole system feels it. The challenge for these towns is not just recovery, but redefining their economic identity. It's a long road, demanding resilience and support at every level. The Tyson closures quickly became political fuel, with former President Trump blaming the current administration's policies. He framed the shutdowns as a betrayal of American workers, tapping into economic nationalism and working-class frustration. The White House countered, citing job growth and blaming market dynamics, not policy. The Tyson story became a proxy battle in the larger debate over America's economic future. For affected communities, political sparring offers little comfort. They need real solutions, not rhetoric. Yet, the national spotlight could increase pressure for meaningful assistance. The fate of a few thousand workers is now a symbol in a broader ideological war. The intersection of corporate decisions and politics has never been more apparent. As the U.S. meatpacking industry reels, Canada is quietly stepping up. Canadian producers like Maple Leaf Foods and Alamel are ready to ramp up and capture a larger share of the market. Backed by government support and modernized facilities, Canada's food sector is highly competitive. High standards and a strong reputation allow Canadian meat to command premium prices globally. Industry leaders express cautious optimism, seeing opportunity in the U.S. pullback. The Tyson closures highlight the fierce competition in global food markets. For Canada, this is a chance to leverage its strengths and expand its influence. As American companies retrench, Canadian producers are poised to feed a growing world. Agricultural economists see the Tyson closures as part of a broader industry transformation. Dr. Alistair Crane notes the old model of massive centralized plants is under pressure from rising labor costs and logistical challenges. Companies must now choose between automation or restructuring. Other nations like Canada and Brazil are ready to fill gaps left by U.S. cutbacks, especially in key export markets. This could lead to a more competitive, diversified global meat market. Consumers may face short-term price volatility and product shortages as supply chains adjust. Long-term automation and efficiency will reshape the industry's cost structure. The global food system is dynamic, change is constant. The Tyson story is a reminder that food production is always evolving. The challenge is to manage this transition while ensuring a stable, affordable food supply. Policymakers and industry leaders must adapt to keep pace with these shifts. The Tyson plant closures are a stark example of how a single decision can ripple across the globe. For thousands of workers, the road ahead is uncertain and recovery will be tough. The event exposes vulnerabilities in America's food supply and manufacturing base. As the U.S. debates its future, countries like Canada are seizing new opportunities. Experts agree, this is not just Tyson's story, but a signal of broader change in the global food industry. Innovation, automation, and resilience will define the future. The shifts we see today will shape economies and dinner tables for generations. The Tyson shutdowns are a painful but important chapter in our globalized world. The road ahead demands adaptation, resilience, and a clear-eyed view of the forces reshaping our lives.